Hey folks, this episode is brought to you by NordVPN, and they are offering the holiday season deal. You can get that by going to nordvpn.com/hellerspace or use promo code hellerspace to get up to 73% off your NordVPN plan plus a bonus gift, and this is a limited time offer. Cybersecurity and privacy are very important, and NordVPN shields your IP address and secures your online traffic with state-of-the-art end-to-end encryption. Charles, how do you feel about the NSA or your internet service provider sneaking in and looking at all of your online traffic?
I'm too young to know what the NSA is.
Fair point, buddy, but I think every 11-year-old should know what the NSA is, and that's a different discussion for a different time.
What other ways can NordVPN help me?
It's funny you should ask that, because actually I can change our location on NordVPN and we can watch Japanese Netflix.
That's a lot of Ultraman and Gundam, but I wish there was a discount.
Oh, but little buddy, there is. You can get up to 73% off your NordVPN plan plus a bonus gift by visiting nordvpn.com/hellerspace or use promo code hellerspace, and this is a limited time offer. So don't wait any longer and take control of your internet privacy and security now with NordVPN. And with that being said, Christopher, cue that creepy music. Happy holidays, boys.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody get all their holiday shopping done?
No.
No?
I don't do holiday shopping.
Oh, well, there you go. How about you, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
Hey, well, except for maybe some bric-a-brac here and there.
Okay.
Some little bullshit.
Nice.
Sweet tooth stuff.
Nice. Chris and I were recently shopping in Walmart together, and we saw a gift that we could possibly be getting you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned it, and then he couldn't get out of his head.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So we've determined that we're going to get you a walkie-talkie.
Wow.
Because it has a 40-mile radius.
Yeah.
So no matter where we are,
I have a way better chance. It's on you and the.
That's kind of brilliant. But who gets to be the bearer of the second walkie?
Chris and I, we'll trade it off.
Oh, you guys will have joint custody.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be able to tap into a third one. I don't know. I don't know how tech is.
Ooh,
Like it only comes with two, but it's on a frequency, right?
What if we just get like a third? Yeah, if we get a third one and maybe like tap it in, or maybe there's a three-way set and we can just all have walkie-talkies.
We just use the police band. I mean, they barely ever use it.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just like, yeah, we're going to get you a nice leather holster.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll always be on you.
And my call name's going to be Weird Little Pig.
Weird little pig.
Weird Little Pig to Big Papa. Weird Little Pig to Big Papa.
And so what's
Come
my
in,
name?
Big Papa.
No, Chris is clearly Big Papa.
Okay, you can be, I don't know, who do you want to be?
I don't know.
Come on, man, give me something dope.
Hootie Sans the blown fish. The blown fish.
Hootie
Past
Sans.
tense.
Hootie Sans the
Yes.
blown fish. All right.
It's something manageable, easy.
Hootie. I can call you Hootie.
Thanks for thinking of me, guys.
Yeah. This was a whole thing at Walmart that we had where we're like, we're going to get walkie-talkies. This is going to be
Christ.
fucking
You know
dope.
what? You'll be proud to know, honest to God, I did order the new phone yesterday.
Okay, good.
So,
Because it's up in like January or some shit.
yeah.
It's all right, man. It's cool. We got walkie-talkies now, dude.
I don't want to talk about it right now.
We got walkie-talkies,
We're going to have a
dog.
little funeral for my little shitty track phone.
Oh, you can call us when you're going to start it on the walkie-talkie and be like, shh, guys, funeral is starting. We can show up.
I'm so fucking done with this conversation.
Thank you for joining us for the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and with me as always is...
Crap.
And...
Rob Morphy.
All right, nobody used their walkie-talkie name. That's fine. It's cool.
That's for the Patreon.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's for the
We always
Patreon,
use
isn't it?
Well, I don't always say my name in this one.
That's true. All right. There it is.
At least it's close.
Boom. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Shout outs, Robert. We got some folks that support us on Patreon, and goddamn it is awesome that they do. And we're going to shout them out right now.
Hell yeah, we are. Beginning with John Santalucito,
Oh, yeah, John. Thank you so much.
Michael and Felix Watson. The addendum is they are father and son.
Ooh, thank you.
Dope.
Thank you both so very much. Glad that you enjoy this show. That's super dope.
I know, family bonding time.
Yeah,
That's
it's cool.
wicked.
Yeah.
Totally.
Amanda Wall.
Thank you, Amanda.
Sarah Smith Robbins. That's with a hyphen. So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going for the double last name. Thank you, Sarah. Ryan Sullivan.
Nice.
Dope.
Thank you, Ryan.
Andrew Verkoyen.
Nice. What up, Andrew?
Andag.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
That's 2 A's in the beginning. I'm
like
trying to do
that.
that right. The Arizona fighting crab.
Sounds so cool.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
don't know what. Is that a mascot?
It could be a superhero, maybe.
Oh, I don't think like Lobster Johnson.
Oh.
It sounds like a mascot, like
his
for some
cousin, the Arizona
high school
fighting
basketball
crab.
team.
No,
Arizona fighting crab.
Yeah. No, the fighting crabs.
It's like, hey, fuckers, got gloves on all his claws.
On the legendary Coastal Arizona University set. So
Oh, it's funny.
For 30 gloves.
Waking Oni.
Oh, thank you so much, Waking Oni.
Jeff B.
Hell yeah,
Jeff B.
Jeff. What up?
Priyatama Arifin.
Hell yeah, Pritama. Thank you so much. Thank you all so very much for your continued Patreon support over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast. We appreciate that so very much. Holiday seasons are here, guys. We did some cryptids. We're going back, Robbie, back to outer space.
Back to outer space.
It's time. You're going to bring me, you're going to launch me in my rocket like Jeff Bezos into the sun to outer space.
Well, that's how it's going to happen.
That's how it's going to work.
Don't
yeah.
go into the sun.
Well, I'm very excited about this.
All right, perfect. Excellent. So this week, let's get started with the Cosmic Odyssey of Maris M, Part 1. In the early 1990s, what began as an ordinary day for a young Latvian student would swiftly transform into a hyper-kinetic journey that included teleportation, a shape-shifting robot, erotic alien eggheads, esoteric animals, and a whirlwind interplanetary tour that would result in one of the most captivating cases to nearly slip through the cracks of UFO lore.
So enticing.
There's a lot there.
A lot.
There's a ton.
And bear in mind,
Transformers.
this is part 1.
God damn.
There's even more in part 2. But there's plenty here to keep us entertained. Trust me.
I'm here, dude.
You're not wasting your time, dear listeners, by being here for part 1. This isn't just set up for payoff. There's some incredible shit.
Launch me into the sun, dude.
But I don't know why that this is an often slept on case, but I'm really glad that I stumbled across it, and here goes to the sun, buddy.
Let's do it. Let's go to the
All right,
fucking sun.
Let's fucking do it, bro.
This one is an unqualified doozy,
Oh, shit.
using grandma's terms. Everything about this incident defies logic and stretches credulity nearly to its breaking point. Nevertheless, this is one of the most fascinating alien encounters I've come across, and if this report is to be believed, may well contain within it the seeds of a new age of evolution and prosperity for the human race. Either that, or its ultimate doom.
That's always...
It's really the only two
It's a
things.
pot of cold or a fucking sewer rat.
100%.
Those are my favorite options. The next evolution of man or the downfall of humanity. It's fucking dope, dude.
The only choices.
Yeah, I love it.
This bizarre account was first reported in an article by O. Burak titled I Believe in the Green Planet, which was published in the journal M Sky Triangle, Riga, Latvia, issue 5, which was released sometime in 1990. I was unable to find any additional information about either the author or the periodical, but not surprisingly, this absolutely fascinating account was saved from obscurity through the inestimable efforts of Albert S. Rosales in his exhaustively researched humanoid catalogs.
It's our boy, Albert Rosales.
He just
Hell yeah.
always shows up, always
yeah.
doing the legwork. God bless him. But before we go any further, let's do what we always do and set the scene. Located in the Baltic region of Europe and bordering Russia to the east, Estonia to the north, Lithuania to the south, Belarus to the southeast, and sharing a maritime border with Sweden to the west, Latvia covers an area of about 25,000 square miles and supports a population of nearly 2 million citizens, one of whom, an 8th grader known only as Maris M., claimed to have vanished from Latvia's capital city of Riga at about 6 p.m. on the eve of March 20th, 1990.
1990, what a year. I was 10. It was a good time.
Yeah, don't sell the movie rights too quick, man, all right? You want to save that. You got to pay for your kid's college.
It's a story of a young kid trying to hang out with some older dudes, and you guys are all like, oh, you're a fucking turd kid. And I'm like, no, I'm cool, guys. Let's hang
You're
out.
a turd kid.
Wow.
I said that all the time.
Totally. Yeah.
Wanna hang out?
Is that the sequel to Ding Dongs and Dumpsters? Turd Kid. The continuing saga of Mark Stores.
As Kristen and Rob ignore a 10-year-old child who's trying to hang out
it's
with
the
them.
bummer's second book.
Yeah,
Like, it's
always.
just a shit show.
The sophomore
whole fucking
slump,
thing.
You
yeah.
guys were the cool teenagers, man, and I was just trying to hang out, and nobody wanted to fucking hang out with
That
me.
really never happened, though.
I mean, I think it could have.
I mean, it might have. I certainly would have thought you were a turd kid and treated you as such, so maybe it did.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I was
man.
always cool.
I wanted you to
youngsters.
launch me to the sun. You just sent me to the fucking moon, dude.
No, don't
Wow.
shit on the moon.
It's bad.
Wow, so you acknowledge it exists?
I don't.
No, I caught it.
You sent me to the fake moon.
All right, fuck you.
I hope you're happy.
Maris. According to the account, Maris had been browsing in a hobby shop located within the Palace of Culture and Science, which houses, among other things, the Latvian Academy of Sciences. Completed in 1958, this looming Stalinist edifice stood a whopping 354 feet high, making it the first actual skyscraper built in the Republic. But that really has no bearing on the story at all.
Perfect.
After leaving the palace, Maris recalled feeling lightheaded. Even more disturbing than his inexplicable attack of vertigo was the fact that the bustling streets of Riga had begun to melt away around him, and he suddenly found himself standing on the edge of a forest, utterly alone. Outside of what looked to be a small town, which he later discovered was the city of Panevias in Lithuania, which is located some 95 miles directly south of his metropolitan hometown. Baffled and woozy, Maris began walking toward what was then the unknown town on a road next to the woods. Still trying to piece together what had happened, the boy abruptly froze in his tracks when a turbulent reddish fog suddenly erupted out of nowhere, high in the sky above him. So, all right, melting world, you got dosed. You end up in a place you don't recognize. It's completely rural when you're in a capital city. Okay, fine. Now all of a sudden you got an explosive red cloud in the sky above. It's
all fairly normal so far.
Yeah. Great day for an 8th grader.
It's a dope 8th grade party.
Yeah, totally.
Just get fucked up and you're like, I'm a lot of distance from my house, and now there's a red cloud. Cool.
You're gonna find this dude. Oh, he's cool as a cucumber.
All right.
Got to give Maris a lot of points here.
All right.
The puzzled teenager could only stare as the oddly undulating crimson cloud seemed to expand, then just as suddenly collapse in on itself, growing smaller and denser until it vanished completely. Before Maris even had the chance to process this strange sighting, what he described as a quote-unquote alien spacecraft popped out of thin air exactly where the red haze had disappeared.
Dude, this shit is happening quick. He's just like, party town, don't know where I am. Aliens.
This is like accidentally bumping someone's like life work of domino setup, and you just realize within 3 seconds, everything's fucking fucked.
Totally.
The UFO descended into the nearby forest, about 330 yards away from where Maris stood. Overcome by curiosity, the student streaked into the woods, darting around trees and dodging branches until he came upon the unknown vehicle which was hovering just above the ground. He noticed that a smallish, illuminated hatch was open on the side of the craft with what looked like a stepladder that extended to the ground below. Maris cautiously made his way closer to the craft, and that was when he got the third greatest shock of his young life, as he noted a huge robot approaching him through the woods. This odd automaton had enormous eyes and was covered in, quote, bizarre-looking protrusions, end quote, which were unfortunately never described in detail. Stranger still, it appeared to be made of a glass-like substance. So a knobby glass long dildo
I was going to say,
robot.
is it like a giant French tickler that's just fucking like...
Oh, yeah, it could be.
Yeah, dude, it's intergalactic, dude.
Like a weird pickle.
Yeah.
Like a weird glass pickle.
Dude, it's a weird pickle.
Yeah.
Cacti pickle.
That could be your... Never mind. That could be your walkie-talkie name. Weird
Glass pickle?
No, weird pickle.
You already got weird.
It got weird pig to weird pickle. Big Papa.
There it is. Maris again froze as a wave of terror overcame him. The robot, for its part, seemed to sense the boy's distress, and in a flash, the massive figure began to shrink and morph into an exact duplicate of Maris himself, down to the last stitch of clothing.
Oh, it's a fucking T-1000?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comforted by this, or if that makes it 10 times more nightmarish.
It's weird.
Maris could only stare in what one assumes was a tenuous combination of enchantment and mind-numbing horror as this instant doppelganger began making what the boy claimed were quote-unquote friendly gestures as it beckoned him into the hovering craft. There's a lot of warning signs. This is literally like the definition of red flag in my estimation.
I mean, I don't know, man. You might be able to. You might be able to go. It's yourself. You can trust yourself.
Yeah, no. I mean, how can you not trust you? Glass pickle you. You'd be a fool.
Totally.
To ignore that invitation.
Ignore yourself. This is something about you.
Wow.
Don't ignore yourself. Self-care.
I mean, it would be weird if he just showed up as the kid first,
right?
Because imagine just like you popped out of something, you'd be like, then you'd have an existential crisis, implode,
right?
Never live again in any dimension.
Exactly.
Like at least you get the weird
just be
pickle, and then it turns into you.
Attacks nonstop. Right. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's a weird fucking alien that turned into me. So at least
you're like, oh, okay, so he's trying to, I don't know, look devilishly handsome.
Yeah.
Clearly.
There you go. Great sense of fashion.
Well,
fuck yeah.
I mean, maybe Maris had low self-esteem. He's 8th grade after all, so
true. Okay.
He might not have been pleased at all by this robot's new appearance.
Could have been bummed the fuck out. All right, well.
Whether driven by fear, curiosity, or some unknown psychic compulsion, Maris followed his robo-twin up the stairs and through the brilliant entryway. His eyes quickly adjusted to the near-blinding light, and he found himself inside of a large, spherical room. The student was studying his surroundings when he suddenly noticed the presence of 3 immense entities lounging in deep armchairs that were located directly opposite the opening. Maris marveled at the sight before him. These obviously organic beings were almost 10 feet tall, with elongated egg-like heads, snub noses, rounded ears, and just 4 fingers on each hand. Maris noted that the 2 larger and evidently male entities on the right were wearing low-cut, almost disco-era tops, while the one on the left had cut a clearly feminine figure, complete with what the eager teenager described as a snug, body-hugging suit that clung tightly to her curvaceous form and revealed more than a hint of her thighs and breasts.
Oh, this shit's gonna get dirty.
Jeez.
Well, hopefully not. He's a young man.
The disco era top's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, the plunging neckline. You know you're a lounging, hip as fuck alien, dude. You're 10 foot tall. You got an egghead. You probably don't have chest hair, but you got mad pecs showing.
And maybe it's like a weird fucking Austin Powers or something where you're just like, all right, gotcha.
I mean, if you evolve to a certain level, you probably are going to dress in completely mod / disco era fashions. Like that breadth of 10 whatever years. That's I mean, as I grew up, that's what the future was told to me that it was going to look like. Logan's Run taught me nothing.
That's why we got like future robes though and stuff. Like, big collars came back in, like, long robes. Like it's like
everybody looks
happened?
like everyone's dressed like ABBA. It's fucking cool.
Yes,
yeah,
ABBA meets Doctor Strange. That is the future of fashion.
All right, cool.
At least according to the brief era I'm talking about.
All right,
yeah, for sure.
I went the complete opposite way, but that's okay. It's cool. We're here.
The colossal threesome all wore belts with buckles emblazoned with a symbol which resembled the letter T with an extra line off its right side and would look like a lowercase m beneath it. Maris also noted that the 2 males had slit-like mouths, while the female bore a pair of thin yet noticeable lips. The trio stared down at the teen with strange, toothless grins, and when a strange voice suddenly burst in his head, Maris realized that these beings were not only massive and mysterious, but also telepathic.
Oh, they're talking to you.
When are they not? When are they not?
I don't know. I mean, if there's ever an alien interaction, there are, of course, but it's a vast minority of them that don't have telepathic interplay.
Yeah, they don't use their mouths at all.
No. And I suppose when you have to communicate with like different species, vocal cords are not always going to come in handy. You got to talk with things that live in the water, that live in magma, that fly in the gaseous clouds, energy beings. You can't just be talking to everybody. You just got to think at those fuckers.
Got a translator, dude.
Right on.
Yeah.
The alien entity in the center seat, described as being, quote, the largest and most robust, end quote, of the trio, did most of the telepathic talking and invited the stunned student to sit down. Hardly able to process all that was happening, Maris reached down to make sure the chair was real before sitting. Maris's robo-duplicate then sat in the chair opposite him, fastening itself in with a pair of seatbelts. At this point, the teenager's mechanical twin began to brag to his flabbergasted counterpart in a way that was decidedly reminiscent of George Lucas's anxious yet haughty android C-3PO, that he was able to speak in almost 500,000 languages, including all the languages on Earth. In the young man's native tongue, the robot told Maris to relax and that he needed not be afraid before launching into an array of mostly unspecified personal questions regarding his age and residence.
This is getting weird. I mean, it's already weird, but it's getting even fucking more weird.
No, you got this
like,
robot
yeah, so how old are you,
asking
kid?
you questions in
Where do you
Latvian.
live?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's getting a little creepy. All right.
While the mirror mechanism continued its interrogation, Maris could not help but to squirm under the penetrating gaze of the sitting giants. In an effort to engage the creatures, the teen repeatedly inquired as to what the strange symbol on their belts represented, but they never offered a reply. The machine man finally finished its questions and began to inform Maris that he ought to be honored as he was one of a select group of humans that their civilization had chosen to connect with. This, it explained, was due to the fact that only certain people had the ability to understand them, and that these individuals possessed a specific, yet frustratingly unspecified, physical condition that allowed this communication to occur.
Naturally.
Natch.
I mean, duh.
You got to specify that shit.
The automaton suddenly switched tacks and asked Maris if he was interested in seeing other planets. Jumping at this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the teen immediately said yes to the invitation, and without warning, the round room became illuminated in a dull white light, and abruptly everything surrounding Maris took on a strange transparency. Though he was still unable to see through the windowless walls of the craft, after a few seconds, a line began to materialize around the entire perimeter of the orbicular cabin, slowly opening to reveal a stunning view of the Lithuanian forest where the strange spaceship had landed. So just like, I guess, blinds opening bottom down, top
right.
up,
Yeah, all right, cool.
all the way around.
There you go.
As the trees began to vanish below, Maris understood that, although he felt no physical pressure, the craft was ascending. Filled with dread, the adolescent averted his eyes from the rapidly receding scenery and began to stare at the ceiling. Seeming to understand his unspoken concerns, his robotic match reassured him that everything would be corrected. In moments, Maris was overtaken by a sense of calm. It's unknown if this response was the result of a sort of psychic sedative that seems to be used by multiple alien species to comfort their reluctant guests, or if the child, who had already been through the unimaginable, simply had an uncanny ability to accept the unthinkable. Either way, the now detached Maris became curious about his unusual surroundings as his fear receded. The teen watched as one of the entities used its foot to push on a pedal on the floor, which in an oddly Earth-like move increased the speed of the vehicle. The being then pressed down on another pedal, and the light inside of the craft changed to a reddish tint. Maris glanced down at his hands and suddenly realized that everything appeared to be photonegative. Dark was light and vice versa.
Like the Tales from the Dark Side?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Dude, he's got that. He has that pedal. It's the Tales from the Dark Side pedal.
Yeah.
You hit it.
Once the
Yeah.
just the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, this is the new model of the ship.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Gas on the left.
This is the unseen.
Tales from the Dark Side on the
unseen
right.
by most.
Yeah.
Don't use it unless we got a human on board.
They call it the unseen by most pedal.
Yeah.
And he fucking's like, we finally got one. We're going to be able to use it.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The
It's
UBM.
The peculiar phenomenon lasted approximately 5 minutes when suddenly everything returned to normal. Maris could sense that the craft was slowing. As the speed decreased, the walls of the room became more and more transparent, allowing him to see a red-blue planet hovering in the distance. Maris stared in awe at this stunning celestial display when he realized that they weren't heading toward that incredible orb, but coming in for a landing on what he termed a green planet. Robo-Maris told the amazed human that this particular landing site had been specifically selected for him. The first thing Maris saw was a black mountain peak that pierced through the milky green cloud cover in the distance. Suddenly the ship slipped through the emerald vapor, obscuring everything. But in mere moments, the crafts emerged from the miasma, revealing a meadow nestled inside of a dense jungle. Sounds pleasant.
I mean,
nothing wrong so far.
no, it could be worse. Honestly, you're like, it
No,
looks
you got
nice.
the jagged black peak.
Yeah.
And then, you slip through the green clouds.
Yeah.
Like a little glade in the
It's
jungle.
not bad,
Yeah.
man. You can fuck get out there, have a little picnic with your weird fucking tall giant friends.
Who knows? Things might go weird for them.
You can
I
get
think they're
fucking-
going to stay on board.
I hope they do. This episode is brought to you by MyBookie. From all the biggest games to the smallest events, make every bet worth your while with MyBookie. You can start by doubling your first deposit instantly with MyBookie's first deposit bonus. Double your money before you even place a bet, and all you have to do is sign up and deposit using our exclusive promo code HELLORSPACE, that's all one word, at MyBookie. Oh, Buffalo and the Bucks happened. Yeah, that was a close one. Super hard. And it went to overtime. It was a close game. Hope Josh Allen's ankle's all right. Bigger here, though, we got the Packers and the Bears. Charles, it appears as if your boy Aaron Rodgers has sent in his clone during this game. What are your thoughts on this?
I think that the Aaron Rodgers on the field was actually the clone, and the one in the stands was the real Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers can't play because he broke his toe.
You heard it here first, folks. The Aaron Rodgers clone conspiracy. Look for that one on Reddit.
Oh boy, get your tinfoil hats ready. We got some probing to do.
Probing indeed, but don't wait any longer. Head to MyBookie today to redeem your double deposit bonus so you can get in the game and start winning big today. And remember, that's promo code HELLORSPACE, all one word, to receive double your first deposit instantly in your account. No hassle and no wait. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Upon landing, the hatch at the far side of the room once again opened, and Maris followed the robot and his gargantuan hosts through the relatively small passage. Although he was at a loss as to how to explain it, Maris noted that the three huge beings managed to pass through the opening that was approximately as tall as he was without stooping. Perhaps they shared their metamorphosing machine's ability to decrease in size at will? Who fucking knows, really? I mean, there's no way to know.
I mean,
did he watch it happen?
He just watched them walk through without stooping. They're 10 feet tall, and I don't know. Let's assume he's like 5'5". I don't know what an 8th grader is. It's all different, I know.
Okay.
But they shouldn't have been able to do that.
I mean, at this point, though, it's like, of course they can. Why not?
Yeah. No, at this
Why
point,
fucking
the rules
not?
are being
Only
followed.
a few ways that could happen if you watched it happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
Well, I mean, if he's walking through at the same time, even though there's only a single step ladder, so you think you got to wait your turn. I just don't know. But he didn't say they shrank or that the opening got bigger, just
Right.
that they managed to walk through without stooping.
right.
Weird.
Right.
It could be like one of those fucked up, like those optical illusion rooms where he was just standing at a weird angle and didn't realize.
Oh, the whole thing's like an Escher ship.
Yeah.
well, yeah, actually, it would make complete sense.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, all right, well, the least of his problems.
It is just one of the many questions associated with fucking Maris's all kinds of fucked up Odyssey. Maris thought that the plants and flowers of this unknown world looked very much like those he was familiar with on Earth. But the youthful human was startled when he began to spy an odd array of animals, one of which vaguely resembled a common canine, another that looked kind of like a parrot. All right, standard. Was it bluish? Well, parrots are blue. I don't know. What color are parrots not? They're gray. Parrots are fucking all the colors, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think there's not a color they aren't.
Pink? Is there a pink parrot? Is that a thing?
That's a cockatoo, maybe.
Oh, shit, could be. Yellow works. Green. Fuck.
Either way,
I don't know parrots,
it was
man.
parrot-like. What made it different from Earth parrots? I can't say.
All right, vague. It's a vague parrot.
Every time.
There you go.
Suddenly, a 3-foot-long serpentine creature shot past. It was identical to a snake, save for the fact that it ran past them on 4 legs.
That's a lizard.
Yep.
It's a big giant.
Continuing
It's a
on.
little lizard.
Chris's astute observation. That's a lizard. Exactly.
Yeah, they landed in Australia.
Yeah, basically.
Clearly, this kid just didn't know.
Fuck, drop bears, all kinds of shit.
Interestingly, Maris noted that this motley menagerie did not seem in the least bit afraid of the humanoid visitors. Perhaps predation was not a factor on their world, or maybe they just hadn't encountered these beings enough to learn to fear them. It was then that the boy realized that the air around him was light and easy to breathe. And when he stepped onto the surface of the planet, Maris was pleasantly surprised by the fact that he felt like he was almost floating in what he assumed must be the lower gravity of this world that was so similar to, yet so different from, his home. That's got to be a cool feeling. No matter how fucked up your day is.
Yeah.
Teleporting, fucking
less gravity,
abduction, less gravity.
Makes it all worth it.
Maris was also stunned to see several curved armchairs resting on a spacious glade as if they had been set out in anticipation of their arrival. The humongous humanoids ceremoniously settled on their chairs, and the teen followed suit. Although his memory of the following conversation was a bit spotty, Maris recalled being told that the planet they were currently visiting was named Esma. That's ESMA. And it was one of just 6 planets in that system. They telepathically explained to Maris that Esma was a world that was blanketed by virgin rainforests with just 3 megalopolises, which were occupied by sentient beings. They further informed him that the red-blue planet, which they had seen just before their descent, was incapable of harboring life, though they failed to mention its name. The largest planet in the solar system was known as Menpluria. Despite the fact that this world most closely resembled Earth, it was also uninhabited. This was due not only to the fact that the planet's atmosphere, lacked oxygen, but because its surface was, quote, literally swarming with predators, end quote.
It's the predator homeworld, dude.
It could be.
Yeah, shit.
The world had once been colonized, but the municipality was abandoned because of a sudden disastrous change in the planet's atmosphere, and now only one lonely outpost remained. The shape-shifting AI mentioned that this isolated and oft-attacked station was his home. That's glass pickle Maris bot guy.
Oh, he lives at the shitty outpost?
He lives in the shitty outpost.
Oh, bummer.
Adding that the main reason the city was abandoned came down to the fact that those dwelling there had become progressively more aggressive due to environmental deterioration very similar to the devastation caused to the Earth by man-made automotive and industrial pollution.
Here it comes. The moral of the story.
This is the message.
The
there
reason
you go.
why.
The next planet, EMSA 3, was inhabited, but contained only a single huge metropolis on its surface. The next world, Ares, was the most intriguing as the entities confided in Maris that they used this planet for experiments with quote-unquote new life forms.
Oh, that's not sketchy at all.
No.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad so far. Now they're like, well,
There's
Ares.
Here's our clone planet where we can make all the weird shit.
Though to what end was not elaborated. Yeah, I don't know what they're making. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know if it's military. I don't know if it's just harvesting organs. It almost seemed, well, this is my human bias. My human bias says if the human race ever got advanced enough to colonize other worlds and we had a special planet for new life forms, there'd be nothing good about that fucking planet. We're not making like bunny gerbil hybrids for extra snuggle cuteness or something. It's always going to be something nefarious.
Razor knife, flamethrower, bunny snuggles.
There it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Every time.
Yep.
The last, smallest, and most remote planet was called EMSA 2. It only had 2 small towns that existed solely to support what they referred to as, quote, technocratic and research facilities.
This is no fun town.
All these planets, there's like a city, 2 cities.
3 cities.
And just on one planet.
But that makes sense, though. I mean, at first I was thinking the same thing that you were, Chris. I was like, what the fuck? They're wasting all kinds of space. But then if you have the ability to colonize mad planets, why would you ever overpopulate one? Like, what would be even the point of that?
I mean, if space travel isn't a concern of yours, then yeah, totally. You can just go
if not procreating, if they don't have the same background. I mean, we grew up as apes, they just porked.
Right.
I mean, so
no, we are the progeny of porking apes.
Yeah, no
doubt.
Yeah. So if they don't have that built in, right?
Right.
But if they are robots and it's not, they don't have that kind of drive.
Well, I mean, obviously the tall, fashionable eggheads, if they don't pork, they certainly look like they could. But no matter what state they're at, I mean, if you can travel these distances as fast as we're about to find out, and it's pretty fucking incredible, then you really don't need to put all your eggs in one basket.
No, you can kind of do whatever you want, honestly.
But it's hard, it's hard knowing why. Almost in passing, the colossal creatures mentioned that Mars was inhabited, but they regrettably did not give any specific information regarding its denizens. It was then that the egg-headed entities claimed that the distance between their star and our sun was about 26,700 parsecs, or 5.11933 E plus 17 miles, which according to the young yet scholarly Maris seemed both wrong and far too big.
What the fuck is E plus 17?
Oh, come on, dude. Simple math.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Right.
Get out of
You
here.
embarrass me. Are you fucking serious?
I mean, so this.
All right,
I was
hold
like
on.
waiting how far we're going to go for that.
I didn't take trig. Sorry.
None of us know, but here it is. For the record, according to the unimpeachable resource known as Wikipedia, a, quote, parsec is a unit of length used to measure the large distances to astronomical objects outside of the solar system, approximately equal to 3.26 light years, or 206,000 astronomical units, i.e., 39 trillion kilometers, or for us Americans, 19.2 trillion miles. So
There
a
it is,
parsec
baby.
is
Miles.
19.2
That's
trillion
right.
miles.
Okay.
The nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is about 1.3 parsecs, or 4.2 light years, from our sun. Most stars visible to the naked eye are within just a few hundred parsecs of the sun, with the most distant marked at a few thousand, end quote. Making a distance of nearly 27,000 parsecs seem truly epic in scope. So, if they're not lying, and aliens lie, and this really did happen, and all sorts of ephemeral shit falls into place.
Yeah.
If this really is a planet that is 26,700 parsecs from our sun, that is much, much further than anything that is visible that we can deal with. And apparently they made that trip through, the unseen by most pedal in almost no fucking time.
It's only 19.2 trillion miles.
I mean, that's it. Really,
It's
when
not
you think
bad.
about it. And if you're bending time and space,
Yeah.
if you're folding it, if you're wormholing it, if you're making your own wormholes, I don't know how the fuck it works.
That's where you get the letters in the math, dude.
That's where you get the letters in the
When
math.
you're like, why is there an E plus? You're like, dude,
Of course, we all understood that. We
Yeah.
just had to
Plus
explain
17.
Dude, Jay.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Jay.
Fucking mentat math. There it is.
17 parsec.
They further elucidated that their star, which is similar to a G-class sun or yellow dwarf, such as Tau Ceti, is not visible even with the most powerful telescopes at humanity's disposal. Intrigued by this newfound revelation of a galaxy populated with non-human entities, Maris asked if there were any civilizations located closer to Earth. The aliens answered that there was a star in the region of Polaris which harbored 3 Earth-like planets that were inhabited by living organisms. But, I mean, are they a civilization? Does Mars not have a civilization? Does it just have life, but not a civilization? Are they subterranean, as some people, I guess, speculate?
Well, I
Is
mean,
Polaris
they're
an actual civilization, or is it just like fucking lizards
right.
pretending to be running snakes?
Right.
Doesn't seem to be anything on the surface.
No.
Well,
So it would have to be underground.
they were very cavalier about like, oh, Mars had life once. Don't worry about that. But
Well,
there
that's
was
not
life.
surprising, really.
Well, but I mean, they were confirming it.
They're saying it has a life now. It's like, oh, yeah.
All right.
Fuckers on Mars.
I don't know about
Right.
this. No.
During their conversation, Maris was startled by a crazy chicken-like critter that sauntered out of the forest. The creature looked very much like a terrestrial chicken, except for the fact that it was walking around on slender, nearly 3-foot-long legs. The huge-eyed, hyper-limbed chicken shot a glance over at the extemporary gathering before slowly strolling away down a road that led out of the clearing.
You almost got to ask, like, can I eat that?
I
I
don't
do
know
it?
if that's the first thing
I don't know,
I'm
man.
thinking.
Like, can I fucking eat that?
I don't know,
thing?
bulge-eyed, 3-foot-legged chicken?
Chicken wings, dude.
Yeah, I mean, but
Think
it's
about
not
it.
a lot of meat on that leg.
Dude,
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
I mean,
It's an ultimate turducken. There it is right there.
it's an ostrich.
It really
Oh,
is. A chicken
okay.
stretch.
All right, maybe he's in Australia.
What the fuck's that? I think
Mookin.
it's an ostrich, Maris.
Although the teenager was astounded by the passing creature, his companions paid it no more mind than most earthlings would offer a squirrel. It's worth mentioning that in his notes, Rosales mentions that similar long-legged fowl were spotted near Eluksny in Latvia and Peccary in Russia between the years 1937 and 1939. Is it merely coincidence, or could it be that these creatures pass through the same interdimensional wormhole used by the tall telepaths and their robotic companion? I don't know. Probably not.
I mean, it's just a big fucking legged bird.
It's weird that long-legged chickens were seen in Eastern Europe.
Strange, yeah. I mean,
and I guess, Latvia obviously is in Eastern Europe, but that really is tenuous.
Hyper chickens, dude.
Hyper chickens.
Yeah.
But as unflurried as they might have been by the space chicken, the next being to make an appearance in the glade commanded all of their attention. As they continued to converse, his interstellar hosts suddenly fell silent. Maris glanced around, catching sight of a wide-set, well over 6-foot-tall humanoid that ambled out of the forest. The bulky being, which wore on its head a cowl that to Maris looked like it had been crudely fashioned using an old water bucket, stopped dead in its tracks and simply stared toward the confounding collection of species. So I guess like tin snips and a fucking old bucket, and it's jammed on, and it's like a shitty Ninja Turtle fucking knockoff villain.
Yeah, it's like a dollar store Ram Man.
Really though,
that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Is this the fucking M-Boss dude?
We'll see.
Oh man.
Sensing danger, the robot stepped between Maris and the monster, while one of the two gangly male entities quickly raised a tube-like weapon up from its belt, aiming it directly at the bulky man-beast. It was a classic Wild West standoff, with the cowled creature standing to one side, Maris and two of the eggheads on the other, and the robot and a third massive anthropoid holding the center ground. The student was baffled. He couldn't understand why this brute was able to intimidate his much taller and evidently technologically superior comrades. Nevertheless, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Not knowing what would happen next, Maris had no choice but to brace himself for a conflict between these, to him at least, equally alien beings, and hope that he would, somehow, manage to survive this cosmic confrontation. And that is the end of part one.
Oh, man.
The cliffhanger for that.
Just getting to the plot of the Esmonds against their foe, the
blowchards.
I don't. Yeah.
The ultimate M-Boss there. I mean, what a fucking bizarre. Literally, this thing starts with this kid just walking out of some skyscraper, and then
a hobby shop.
Everything goes to shit.
Like, I don't know if it's comic books, model planes. Who the fuck knows what's going on in Latvia?
Yeah, but man, you're just hanging out, doing your day, and the next thing you know, you're like, well, fuck, now I'm in an intergalactic competition.
He must have touched an artifact. There must have been something. It's the Hellraiser protocols.
What was going on in the... Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah.
It was the Latvian, Palace of Sciences.
Right.
Some weird fucking experimental
It is
bullshit.
a palace, which is funny. It's not like a museum.
Yeah, no, it's
like
a
it's a
palace.
converted palace.
Yeah, they just happen to have a hobby shop in it, but okay.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, I mean, maybe Stargate didn't realize it.
Dude.
Could be, possibly. I don't know.
Maybe
Is that
something
how they
had
work?
recently been excavated, like
there you
an
go.
artifact that creates Stargates. Maybe he was exposed to something. Like they said, he had physical attributes that made him more open to communication with their species.
What is it?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta know.
What is this genetic disorder and or advantage that allows for that to happen? And I also found it interesting. Maybe it's a sort of egalitarian way that it was sort of presented, but the robot, it seemed to be self-aware. I don't know if it's technically AI, even though I did refer to it as such, but they refer to each other as the same. Like our people
Right.
are in communication with your people, and we have to pick specific people that can actually deal with it. It wasn't like the robot was just used as a tool, it seems. It seems like it was just another representative, a citizen of like Ass World that was full of predators and, one lonely outpost.
Ass World.
That's a whole nother.
3, excuse me.
I just, in my mind, Ass World is just fucking giant booties everywhere.
Yeah, just the twin globe planet.
It is. That's an episode of Doom Patrol, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a were-ass.
All right,
That's amazing.
I gotta catch
It's
up
just
on,
a bunch of ass. You got.
I need to catch up on the season. Holy shit! So now, obviously we have a part 2 coming up here. But what I think is kind of interesting too is when he actually does meet these aliens. There's no grand no explanation of anything. They're just like, welcome. You have attributes that we need. Want to go for a ride? That's
and
it.
he's accepting.
Yeah, and he is like, yeah, no, let's fucking do this. Like,
Yeah.
he's how old again? He's like in 8th grade or something.
13 or 14, probably 13.
Yeah, and someone's just like, hey, you want to go to a different planet? And he's like, oh, fuck yeah, I do. Let's do this shit.
Well, he's handling it
Like,
all really well. Like,
he's super taking this really
the
well.
teleportation
Yeah.
alone, I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Yeah,
I'm a jelly
that's my
bag
day.
of fucking tears and panic.
Yeah.
And they're like sending, I don't know what passes for, Soviet era fucking, hospital people to like take me away to a sanitarium or whatever in 1990. I'm fucking done. But he deals with that and he starts walking to the city. Then there's a cloud and he's cool with that. Then cloud turns into a UFO.
Yeah.
And he's seemingly cool with that. The UFO lands. Does he run away? Does he panic?
No.
Maybe he's assumed. And here's one of the most fascinating things about this kid is that you don't know anything about him. There's no biographical information.
Nope. Right.
No like height. Like he was athletic. He was always a confident boy. He had a lot of artistic abilities. He was popular with the ladies, or he was very shy, kept to himself. His parents said he was like super bright, or he never seemed all that bright. Like any of these things that could give us context, you'd be like, this is why he would react this way.
Right.
Yep, nothing.
It's a blank fucking canvas that we have to paint on.
He's just some
This
hard
picture
ass
of
kid.
Maris.
Just a hard ass kid.
The one thing
or high as fuck.
I can definitely
Too.
identify with is that if I was teleported and I'm just trying to deal with it, and so I say I'm going to be a blubbering mess, and maybe I would be, but also when you're younger, your mind is more malleable. You're more open to like, I got to deal with this rather than I'll panic later. Like later on,
Right.
I'll have a pity party for me, and everyone will feel bad for me because I went through this terrible experience. Right now, I've got to fucking make it right, and that's probably more of like especially how I would have handled it then. And you see this UFO land, all I can think is like, he must think, this is why this shit is happening. I better go fucking figure this out. Like, I don't think it was just idle teenage curiosity, though I guess any one of us could have felt that way.
Right.
But I think it was him like, I was in my hometown. Now I'm in this place I don't know. And a UFO just popped out of the sky and is landing.
Yeah.
This has to be part of this. And it clearly was.
The moxie of youth.
Yeah.
The moxie of youth.
There it is. I definitely put myself in much more dangerous and stupid situations as a kid
Sure.
than I would obviously as an adult because I'm,
Of course.
because I know not to go to weird houses to buy weed now. Because I learned that lesson at a very young
Dude,
age.
do you go camping and like fight bear cubs?
I don't fight bear cubs, man. I just happen to see bears, dude.
Rob.
I got high once and tried to hug a bear.
Rob.
It wasn't even a cub; it was a bear.
I don't do stupid things anymore. I just got high trying to hug wildlife.
It was well
Trying to
before.
take the claws.
It was well before I was married.
Make a
It was
necklace.
well before I had kids.
Skulls.
It was a long time ago. Skulls.
You're gonna come back and have like a squirrel skulls and like small rodent.
I would. Why am I coming back?
Look
with
what I
small
did.
rodents?
Talismans.
Jesus Christ, I'm not a hunter. I wouldn't kill anything.
You just
On
ate,
purpose.
ate some bad brownies, man. Fucking come back with a necklace of skulls. I completely expect it.
I can see you rocking.
Nah, man. That's not my jam, dude. I'm there to fucking hang out and be cool and just talk to the fucking bears, man. It can happen.
That's what you think is happening. That's not what's really happening. You're really
No.
massacring squirrels.
I didn't hurt squirrels, but I'm going to apologize if I did. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm
At
pretty
least
sure-
you put it out there.
I'm pretty sure I didn't hurt any squirrels. I wouldn't hurt any squirrels. Morris, the chicken's interesting because it was also
Of all things.
It was of all things, yes. But real quick, it is kind of weird that a similar type creature was spotted twice in the. It could be an ostrich perhaps or something in that family.
In all fairness, between 37 and 39, if you are a peasant living in a very rural area of, I think it was Russia and Lithuania,
right?
You might not be experienced with zoos or menageries or circuses or any of the other vehicles that people
menagerie.
around that time might have seen exotic animals. So you're right. If you had a quick flash sighting of a rogue fucking ostrich,
You're freaking the fuck
or
out.
emu or something, you might think, oh my God, it's a giant chicken with 3-foot legs.
Sure.
There's no reason to assume that it's the same alien chicken.
Right.
But Mr. Rosales pointed it out. I felt obliged to do the same.
Well, sure.
It's
But
the little
yes.
tiny things about the story that get you like, oh, the weird chicken. Like, if there was a reptile. What Chris called it, a fucking or a lizard. It's basically like
See,
it's
those
a fucking
are
lizard.
those aren't things. That, I mean, there's other things than
Well, no, there's
you saw
much-
a weird creature on a
there's
weird
much-
planet that
There's
looks
much bigger
it's
things.
very similar to something.
Billy
yeah.
Buckethead is what gets me.
Yeah, the end boss
Yeah.
is kind of weird.
Because he's coming out now. I'm assuming he was referred to as a giant. He was referred
Right.
to as other things, and like basically the single English language account, which is the one that obviously Albert Rosales put out, based on the Oberak, I believe in the Green Planet account, which I was not able to dig up, and so if a kid that's hanging out with 10-foot tall entities and a formerly giant fucking robot is saying that this thing is brutishly big, but it's only just over 6 feet tall, then all I can think it must be, again, McFarlane Hulk wide.
Yeah.
Like Grafton,
Juggernaut,
Headless Horror,
yeah.
Grafton, Juggernaut type
Yeah.
wide. But there's something about it. And so I can't help but to see in my imagination, and again, we have to fill in all the blanks. This is just like some old, like a shitty post-apocalyptic barbarian type character with like his bucket helmet, and he's dragging a shitty club, and he's got extra long fucking arms and a pot belly, but like, he's got merchant marine muscles, he's not ripped, but he's just fucking built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, you can tell he's got like 3 power bars.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And he
dude.
comes sauntering out. He doesn't say a word. He just looks at these 3 things. And the robot's like, oh, fuck you. And then one of the tall, gangly things grabs its tube gun. Is like, no, fuck you.
The tube gun.
Then the other, the
Whatever
lady
that
and the
is.
lead.
I like the tube gun.
The
The tube
lead
gun's
egghead
cool.
are sitting behind, and Maris is
could be
just
a-
sitting there going, why are they all freaking out? Like, they didn't give a fuck about my chicken.
Yeah, that was what made
That's-
me more
Maris-
worried right there because
Yeah.
everything was simmered until fucking
Dude
Dollar
shows.
Store Juggernaut
Because
shows
Maris,
up.
Dollar
is,
Store
Maris is like,
Juggernaut.
guys, I get it, but did you see the chicken?
But did you see the chicken?
It was weird.
Focused on
We
the
all agree
emu.
the last one's a lizard.
Yeah.
This is unique.
This is the one, goddammit. This is going to make or break us. All right, man. That is bizarre. Wow. What's kind of cool about it, though, is it does start from 0 and then it automatic to 100.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There's not even like a slow.
It's not acceleration at all. It's an elevator shaft plummeting.
Yeah, and just there
And
you
you're
are.
just
so
like,
far.
oh, and it
And
just
you're
keeps
just-
going faster and faster.
And now Maris is just there having to deal with this. So shit. All right. Well, Christopher, what do you think here about Maris?
I want it to be true, even if 5% of it's true.
Right.
That would make me happy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just don't know which 5%.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot. There is going to be to kind of unpack.
Yeah,
that.
like if he literally teleported but made up the alien shit, that would still be amazing, but fucked. But I don't necessarily think that at all. And what's going to happen? I'm not going to spoil anything for next week. The Odyssey is going to continue, but there's going to be 2 things that are going to happen. One is we're going to be introduced to a character. I call them characters because I think in terms of fiction, an entity that may well be something we have dealt with before in a previous podcast.
Oh shit.
And then we're also going to realize some things about ourselves as humans and our destiny that maybe we're all going to have a hard time coming to terms with, but I think we can do it together as a family of people.
What the fuck?
Each and every one of us.
We're gonna make an inner self revelation.
We might.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, is it a
Dude,
Hallmark,
this is-
Hallmark special next week?
Yes. No. This is our Christmas miracle. This is our Hallmark special. I'm the young girl that's home from the big city.
And you're never going to fall in love again.
No, I can't.
But then there's the
There's a
local
chicken.
snowman
There's
distributor.
a weird chicken. I can't fall in love with the guy now because there's that chicken.
Yeah, you're right.
Shit.
You are really obsessed with a fucking emu.
I mean, I fucking love.
You just can't believe that there's a large bird. That's not any of those.
Fathomable cryptid.
Yeah.
You mean a bird with long legs? We've never seen these stork. No, never.
They're like a snake, but it's got legs.
Oh my god! It probably would more likely to be like a fucking like a stork or a huron, as I love to pronounce
yeah,
it.
dude,
right.
I
It
saw
would be something fucking. There's plenty of long-legged fucking fowl
Right,
out there.
I don't know,
flamingo.
Flamingo.
I mean, when you're
Flamingos.
hanging out with giants and they're all dressed all sexy and shit, you don't know what could happen. Could be weird birds. Who knows?
Yeah, but at least they weren't being like overtly salacious. Like they
Yeah.
were hanging out with a kid.
I
They're
did-
probably
they-
thousands of years old. Who the
I
fuck
mean,
knows?
they're keeping their cool. He's got his cool disco shirt.
Oh, they
and
can't
she's
help but
just
to
like,
look sexy.
Like
but
she's
they're not being
definitely
weird about it.
like dressed like
I like
Megan
that they have
Thee Stallion,
armchairs
for
just
sure.
wherever they go. Like they get on the
armchairs is
ship
kinda
and they're
cool.
sitting in dope armchairs. They get off to this planet. Just 3
Dope
armchairs.
Yeah.
Like, is it nanotech? Do they just form wherever these people want to be? Because if there's one thing they want to fucking do after the briefest of walks is lounge the fuck out.
Yeah.
That is the future I
Or
want.
it's just their spots, and they just have lounge chairs wherever The next spot they go, I guarantee there's going to be 3 fucking lounge chairs there.
You might
Now they're
be
lounge
right.
chairs. They're just armchairs.
Rob made us gave that one away.
Wherever they go after this battle, win
Yeah.
or lose.
Chairs ahoy. Chairs
shit.
and chickens is really what we should call this podcast.
I know.
Chairs and
I can't wait to hear what the next animal is.
Oh, shit. All right, well, join us back here next week for our Hallmark holiday special.
Yeah,
of
brand new.
heartwarming.
We're going to learn something.
See if Mark can fall in love with a local hometown dude there just trying to be a guy and making it
Yeah,
happen.
but your
There it
ex-boyfriend,
is.
the 3-foot-legged chicken, he's going to be giving stink eyes.
He's going to show you an animal you've never seen.
Oh, man. I'm just going to be mesmerized. There you have it. Thank you all so very much for joining us, the Cryptonaut Podcast. Happy holidays, everybody. Hell yeah.
Heck yes.
This
All
actually,
right.
in pod time, is coming out the same week as Christmas.
Oh, really?
So fucking there we are,
Phenomenal.
man.
Have
Yeah.
a great one. Be safe. Have
Do
mad
it.
fun.
Enjoy.
Get some presents.
Do your stuff. Hellerspace.com. T-shirts. Hey,
Sure.
if anybody gave you some money for Christmas, great way to spend it. There you go. Hellerspace.com.
Oh,
Get yourself
there goes the holiday spirit in one fell
there it is.
commercialized
Happy
swoop.
holidays. Go buy shit from us. Boom. There it is. There's always sales happening, so be sure to check for those on the TeePublic Hellerspace.com website. The Instas, the Twitters, and the Facebooks. We're on the socials. We're doing it. Thank you to everyone there. We appreciate the messages and hitting us up, and the good folks over there administering our Facebook fan group for us. We appreciate all that. The Patreon. That is patreon.com.
Wow.
I said Patreon 3 times.
Yeah, you did.
Because I cannot, every time I say it, I fucking lose the URL, even though it's super fucking simple, because it's patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast.
That's it.
I always want to put the Cryptonaut Podcast in there, but I don't. So
I'm glad
whatever.
you don't.
You know what, though? The link for that is in the description of this podcast. So you can just go there and you can click it, and boom, you're on our Patreon. $1 is a shout out in the bonus audio. $5 is a shout out in the bonus audio with no more than 4, sometimes 6.
Yep.
We'll see.
Sometimes more than
It depends.
4. We
Who
can no
knows?
longer say that.
No,
Yeah.
we
In
can't.
good conscience.
But it's there. Thank y'all to everyone supporting us over there. Also, too, on the Patreon, you have access to the Discord. And I recently posted up on Patreon and the socials that there are some Discord events coming up. We were on there talking. And yeah, so there you have it. Thank you all to everyone over there. And we'll be talking with you soon.
So fucking
See
soon.
you later. Bye.
Yeah. And
Enjoy.
have a good one too if you're agnostic.
Yeah, whatever you got to do.
Happy Hanukkah, Super Kwanzaa.
Oh, yeah. That.
Whatever you're down with, celebrate,
whatever.
be happy, have some friends over, get fucked up.
Find any excuse you can to be a little happier than you were, and God bless you. You'd make me happy. Proud as a papa egghead.
A papa,
Papa egghead.
big papa?
That's my call sign. I finally came
Papa
across it.
Egghead. There you go.
all right.
we
I
made
hate it already. God, I made a terrible
I
mistake.
mean, I know you just said it.
Yeah,
So no takesies, backsies.
Damn it.
Nah.
Well, still have a good time this week.
Excellent. We'll
I'm
be
not going to
talking.
make people be enslaved to holidays. Just have fun.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself and your family, and we'll be talking with you next week. See you.